Hello, all, and welcome back to another episode of Movies and Us, a weekly gathering place filled with conversations about movies, stories, and connection. My name is Jennifer Hahn.
And I'm Sarah Callan.
And today we are going to be reviewing the film Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. What a collection of words.
I'm really impressed that you can say that name without bursting into laughter. It's quite an accomplishment.
I mean, Winnie the Pooh should not be right next to the word blood ever. But here we are. It is separated by a colon, but they are very close to each other on the page. Mm-hmm. So we're in for a treat today during this spooky season, the month of October. Sarah, kick us off with an IMDb summary for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. This should be a good one.
After Christopher Robin abandons them for college, Pooh and Piglet embark on a bloody rampage as they search for a new source of food.
Of food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some interesting bits in that summary.
Yeah. I'm like, I have some questions, but we shall get into that.
Me too.
Okay, so let's start off with our one-sentence summaries for this gem of a film.
Mine is not listening to women has devastating consequences.
Ooh, yes. That is great. This is
Thank
true.
you.
This
Yes,
is a very
it
creative way to get that message across to the masses. I applaud the creativity. Yes.
Yeah. What a way to go to talk about the importance of listening to women. Wow. Who knew we would find that in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
Yeah. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is a exploration of gender roles and gender dynamics. Little did we know.
I was not prepared for that. So that was fun.
My one-sentence summary is Pooh says boo. Honestly, it's what came to mind first, and I went with it, and it's 3 words, so it's very pleased.
It's literally perfect. Oh my gosh. It is my favorite one-sentence summary, I think, ever. Like, I think you just rocketed it up to the top spot.
Oh, man. I'm taking a page out of your book with the 3-word one-sentence summaries. Got a couple of those under your belt. I'm coming for your brand.
Well done. Hey, you are welcome to my brand anytime. Feel free.
Okay, well, let's dive into our initial thoughts of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. And in this first section, we will not spoil the, storyline of this film, the screenwriting genius of this film. Watch the film before continuing to listen to this episode. Okay, Sarah, tell me your thoughts about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I don't know how to have a serious conversation about this movie.
I know. This is not going to be a serious conversation, though. So my notes are primarily lots of questions, and then also me just like wanting to rewrite the movie.
Ooh, love it.
So I think we're going to have a lot of fun, but I do think that this is another contender for a watch-along episode.
Yes.
We're going to have to figure out how to do that one of these days because we keep running into these movies that would be really, really fun to have a watch-along.
Oh my gosh.
This is one of them.
Oh,
we would have a blast.
Absolutely. Okay, so thoughts about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Yes. Where did your brain go?
So this movie is not good. I really do like the premise, though. I think that is super interesting. This idea of, and we've seen this a lot where beloved characters are reimagined as something else. And I think this is a fun way to explore Winnie the Pooh. Like, why not make them, these bloodthirsty murderers? Sure. Yeah. And the fact that it all starts because they feel rejection and abandonment and all of these
Yeah.
things, and they're left to
Mm.
fend for themselves. And so then they start murdering, essentially. Like, that to me is very interesting. And then you get into the movie itself, and it's very not good. So I am disappointed that they had such a good premise and they squandered it. Um, so that's why I was like trying to rewrite the movie while I was watching. The other thing that I kept thinking while watching is I would like to see more horror films, particularly like slasher movies, written by women. Because the whole
Yeah.
time I was watching this, I was also going, nope, that's that's not what a woman would do in that
Mhm.
situation. Like, so, and I get it. Women are not a monolith. Also, in stressful situations, we make bad decisions. Like, I've never been chased by a murderous bear and pig before, so I don't know how I would respond in that situation. But at least if we could have some responses that are a little bit more close to reality, I think it would make a better and more interesting movie rather than everybody making the stupidest choices that you possibly have available to you. It's frustrating. So I would like to see more women writing slasher films.
Mm.
And I think that that would make for better slasher films. So that is my request to all of the movie script writer people out there, more women writing horror movies. Please and thank you.
Mhm. Yes, please. There's a couple of moments in this film where I was like, wow, the male gaze is alive and well in this movie, and they're not subtle about
Yeah.
it at all. At
Yeah,
all.
that's true.
This seems like it's weirdly indicative of where society is at. I don't feel great about this, but um, I don't watch a lot of horror slasher, so I also had the thought of like, is this a tropey part of what's often included in this genre? My guess is probably so, or maybe so. I don't know. I know you're not also like a huge horror slasher person, so we are both the wrong people to be
Mhm.
comparing this to a lot of other films. But yeah, um, ironically, I think that this I agree with you. The premise has so much potential, and there's a way to do like a bad movie in a way that is highly entertaining and incredibly rewatchable and just like has a good time. And this movie doesn't do that. I wanted there to be just more ridiculous, over the top moments, and it plays it pretty safe, honestly. Like it's pretty straightforward. The kills are like there's some interesting variety in the way that people die, but nothing that we haven't seen before. Like they really should have leaned into this IP, you know? There is one moment with somebody's tail that I was like, see, this is
Mm,
we needed more
mhm.
of this. It's maniacal and absolutely deranged and really effed up. But I'm like, you're making good use of the IP. I love that this is happening. Um, my brain was going in like 10 million different directions while watching this movie. I just had a running commentary in my head. So I am here for the watch along experience that we will do one day for this movie. Um, yeah, all my notes are just like ridiculous random things, to be honest.
Fantastic. This is going to be a ridiculous random episode, and I am here for it.
Yes, perfect. Perfect. Um, Okay, let's include a spoiler here. If you haven't seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, carve out 90 minutes of your day to experience some cinematic genius happening here, and then continue to listen to the rest of this episode. All right, grab some friends, do a watch along. That'll make it a really fun experience.
Oh, yeah.
That is key.
Absolutely.
That is
Yes.
key. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, where shall we begin? Let's start with one of your questions that you had.
Okay. Uh okay, let's start toward the beginning of the movie.
Okay,
All right. So Christopher Robin abandons his friends to rudely go to college.
how dare
He
he?
How dare he? What the hell, Christopher Robin? Come on. Uh the film states that he wants to become a doctor. Okay. So he leaves. 5 years later he comes back with the fiance. And she remarks that he has experienced so much success due to his imagination. And I'm sitting here going, "Hold the phone. Number one, I don't think that you can get a medical school degree in 5 years, but I'm also not a doctor and I don't live in the UK. I'm not sure what the rules are, but that seems real quick. Anyway, if you're in med school, I doubt that you're going to get ahead because of your imagination. I'm not going to list that in the top 10 strengths to get through medical school. Again, not a doctor, haven't gone to medical school, I don't know. So I have questions about his career path. Is he still trying to become a doctor? Or did he somehow become a doctor? Did he go to college and then didn't like the idea of being a doctor, so then he published his stories about his imaginary friends and that is his success? Like what is happening here? Cuz they give
Mhm.
weird bits of information that don't work
Are so
together.
specific.
They're so specific, but they don't connect. So what
These
is going on
are
with
the
Christopher Robin?
requirements for when you're looking for a doctor one day. The key
Yes.
question to ask is, do you believe your imaginary friends from your childhood are real? This is a great question to ask on a first date and also of
Honestly.
your doctors.
Honestly, that's just top of the screening questions now.
I jotted down here. This is a dating red flag. Like, Homegirl is so
Oh my
calmly and
gosh.
patiently
Yes.
walking him through this illogical argument around why surely Pooh and Piglet are not still there as she's like following him into the 100-acre woods. Like, you said yes to this man to spend the rest of your life with him. I have questions for you.
Yeah.
We need to
Oh,
get your
girl.
friends to stage an intervention.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
get you out of
Where
this
are her
relationship.
friends?
Hmm.
Because she needs to have better friends who can say like, "Hey, you're falling for this dude, so you don't have perspective, but I'm outside of the bubble and I
Yes.
can tell you he is a walking red flag. Like,
Yes.
don't do this."
She's saying, "Hey, Christopher, I don't feel safe." He completely
Mhm.
ignores her.
Ugh,
What an
the
asshole.
worst.
What
Yeah.
an asshole.
And
Yeah.
multiple times she expresses herself so well and is
Yeah.
persistent. And she's like, "Hey, this is not okay. This is going to be bad. This is not safe. We should not be here." Like again and again and again. And I'm like, "Why are you not listening to this wise
Right?
woman?" What an idiot.
But also, the script is so bad that they literally just take the same line and say it 3 times again and again.
It's true.
Like, it's so, there's no creativity in it at all. When he encounters Pooh again, it's the same thing. It's like they literally took that line and copy and pasted it, put in a couple like screeches in there, but it's the "we used to be friends. Why are you doing this?" 10 seconds go by. "We used to be friends. Why are you doing this, Pooh?" Wow,
Yeah.
some
Yeah, it's
great
pretty bad.
writing happening there. Okay, yes. So, no doctors with wild imaginations,
Mhm.
please.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just say no to that.
At least not a core requirement for doing well at your job. That's the key.
No.
You keep
No,
that
let's
outside of your job.
Yes, that's great. Please have a creative outlet. But like when it comes to practicing medicine, let's stick to facts. Again,
It's
not a doctor, but that just seems to be a logical thing to do.
mhm. Mhm. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. One thing that I wanted to mention with the opening was, you know, I loved the little drawings that they did at the beginning. I
Yeah,
thought
me
those were
too.
great.
Yeah.
I The thought that I had, this movie hadn't even started yet. We haven't even seen live action Robin, live action Pooh, live action Piglet yet, but I was like, if the whole movie was these drawings, that could also be pretty fascinating too. So, my brain went down that path
Mhm.
for a little
Yeah,
bit,
no, I
and
had the
then
same thought.
really,
Yeah.
yeah, like a deranged animated Winnie the Pooh. That could be fun.
Yeah. That sounds great to me.
And it probably would have been a better movie and with the production value than this
Yes.
was.
Yeah. 100%.
hmm So then it's 5 years later. Well, first of
Okay,
all,
really
Christopher.
quick. Oh, no, we are in the 5 years later. Okay. Yes.
Well, yeah, his fiance dies. We don't know what happens to him. We find out later what happens to him. But yes, 5 years later, and then we meet these girls.
Okay, so before we get to the girls,
Oh, okay.
I have a couple of other things
Okay. Yeah,
that
I'm ready.
I could not stop thinking about. Okay, so this is me um thinking too hard about this movie, and I'm very well aware of this. So when Christopher Robin and his fiance are trying to hide from Pooh and Piglet, they it's stupid. I'm like, okay, a bear's strongest sense is its sense of smell. Same thing with a pig. Its strongest sense is a sense of smell.
Yeah.
How did neither of these creatures smell you there? Doesn't make any sense. Bears also have good hearing and good vision. So like even if he didn't smell you, which he would have been able to, he would have heard you. It doesn't make sense. I get it. It's a movie, they had to hide, but like there's
Or
no
like I called
attempt.
BS. Yeah.
Yeah. There, but there's like no attempt at either of them, like either Pooh or Piglet, like sniffing around and like following the scent. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, I don't know that much about animals, but I do know that both of those have a strong sense of smell. So we couldn't have written that in there somehow, but
There's a reason that owl and rabbit are not the ones that are in this movie.
hello.
Okay? You know?
Mm-hmm.
There's a there's
Different
a
skill
there's a
sets.
superpower that Pooh and Piglet have that help make them highly effective murderers.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know?
And the film
Yeah.
does not capitalize on it, which is a real shame.
Honestly, the first kill happens real fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me a little suspense. Like, take me on a journey. You know
Right?
what I mean? This happens in Cocaine Bear too.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I want to earn the blood spilling. You know, we need to build some tension, some stalking,
Mm-hmm.
some chase.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
she dies real
the
fast.
hunt is what helps make it exciting. You know,
Yes.
you want the suspense of like, oh my gosh, they're being followed, or we see that there's a predator but the person doesn't know yet. And it's
Mm-hmm.
all of those things that build tension and suspense, and this is just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, oh, nope, you're dead. Oh,
Goodbye.
okay.
Yeah, within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, wild. Okay, so then another question that I had before we get to the girls is, presumably Pooh and Piglet and all of their friends existed in the 100 Acre Woods before Christopher Robin showed up. I would assume.
Yes.
So
What happened
they
to them?
had to figure out a way to live before Christopher Robin. So then when Christopher Robin leaves, like I get it. They are abandoned, they are rejected. That's a lot of big feelings. I totally understand. But the
Big feelings,
film
yes.
makes it seem like they don't know how to fend for themselves and they don't know how to feed themselves. But they 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 were alive before Christopher Robin, so why couldn't they go back to whatever their food source was before? Unless their food source before was people,
It was
then
cookies
that makes sense.
from Christopher Robin.
But
Yeah, I don't.
like, what? This doesn't make sense to me. Again, I am applying too much logic to this movie, but I'm bothered by these little things that don't make sense.
Well, when Pooh and Piglet are facing their prosecution in court, I think they definitely need to be afraid of you because you've got some great arguments against their little cover here. Their arguments around like, oh, we
Mm-hmm.
had to go feral. We didn't have any other choice. They also killed and ate Eeyore.
Yeah, they sure did.
I just thought that that was such an interesting choice. I mean, I was pretty amused by it, but also poor Eeyore. Justice for Eeyore, you
Yeah,
know?
justice for
Just because
Eeyore.
he's like slow and sluggish and down. He probably can't run as fast as him. I mean, doesn't mean what I want to know their choice
Mhm.
for going after Eeyore. Was there a
Yeah.
discussion? Was there a round table? Did they weigh their
Mm.
options? You know?
Yeah.
Did Eeyore
Yeah, was it
volunteer and we
random?
just didn't know? Yeah,
Mm.
we have
I think
questions.
what's wild to me is like Eeyore is such a beloved character in the Winnie the Pooh franchise, and they just
Yeah.
killed Eeyore off so quickly and without any kind of like remorse or any. It was just like, oh, and they ate Eeyore, and then we just keep it moving. Like, what?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
this just took a turn that I was not expecting.
Right? Right? Maybe this was the screenwriter's choice for building like relationship with the character. Like, oh yeah, look how big and
Mm.
bad they are. No empathy for you. You know? They knew that our human little hearts would start to empathize because
Mhm.
we don't like being abandoned as human beings.
It's very true.
So we
Yep.
got
But
we
then,
had to make them do something absolutely horrific. Our beloved
God,
Eeyore. How dare
it all
they?
makes sense now.
Mm-hmm. This is a
Yep.
very different movie if they'd killed off Owl or Rabbit.
I mean, honestly, I would be upset if they killed off Owl. Because Owl is legit, man. You want Owl
He
on your
is.
side.
Mm-hmm. Rabbit, I don't know anyone that had a deep connection with Rabbit.
Yeah.
Rabbit's
I don't
Rabbit's
either.
PR team needs to do a better job.
But wasn't Rabbit like kind of grumpy? I don't
It's
really remember Rabbit, to be honest.
Rabbit was I remember being quite demanding, like a little
Oh.
with the garden. Remember?
Oh,
This is
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
very fuzzy. Also, where's Rue? Where's
Mm,
Kinga?
yeah.
The mom? I don't know
Honestly,
the mom's name.
Kanga is a mom. And she was probably like, I can see the writing on the wall for this, and I am not putting up with this. Me and my kid, we're piecing out, and we're going to go find somewhere else
Why?
to live where it's better.
Yeah,
She probably did the
sh-
right thing.
she had a good head on her shoulders.
I would like to think so.
No mention of Tigger because aren't we so glad that this story continues into its sequel, Blood and Honey Part 2, and rest assured Tigger is back with a vengeance apparently. No mention of him though. Eerie.
No, none. Which,
Eerie.
again, is wild.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Let's keep going cuz we'll be here all day
We can keep going.
dissecting.
I have no more things. Now we're to the girls. Please continue.
Okay. So we get to the girls. We meet all of the girls. Um One of the girls tells this whole story around being um her dealing with her trauma of being stalked, which that's a lot to deal with. But also, it never intersects with this plot again at all.
Hmm. Yep.
What? Did we chat GPT this in? Like, ooh, what would be something like interesting and eerie to include in this like filler 10 minutes to get us to like start some exposition with these girls? It never comes back. We never learn who that was. We have questions. Is this also
Mm.
going to be answered in Blood and Honey too?
Probably not, because that chick
Oh yeah,
presumably died.
this is true.
So, yep.
I
It
mean,
was just a random something or other.
random story. Okay, do you have any questions in this section? The introduction to the trope we've seen a million times, university students. We're not always all there all the time in the brain at that age. We don't make the
Yep.
best choices.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jen, I have so many questions.
Okay.
Okay, so first off, this is one of those places that I want to rewrite this movie.
Okay.
Like, how do they end up at this house just in general? Does
Who has the money in college for to rent a house like this?
true, but also, like, how did you book this? Was there not a review site? Like, did you not research the area and see that there have been other murders? Like, I don't how is this okay? How did we end up here? So, I have a few other ideas for how you can get a group of people to this house that I would like to submit as alternate setups for the movie. Number one, the town had a string of murders in the past, but they have solved that mystery, so they think, and are trying to rehabilitate the town and trying getting tourists back there. So maybe it was like really, really discounted, or they're seeing ads or something like that. But it's at least addressed that there used to be murders, but the murders have stopped and they are solved. So people come and vacation there.
Mm.
That's my first idea.
Mhm. Mhm.
My second idea is she is a fan of the 100 Acre Wood and is intentionally choosing to go there. So maybe there's like, instead of her going with her friends, there's like a gathering there and like diehards. There's like a 100 Acre Wood con, and they're all going there and they're all staying there. So whether there's danger or not, it doesn't matter because they want to be at the 100 Acre Wood because they like the hundred
Mm.
acre wood.
Mm.
Makes sense.
Can you
Um,
imagine a scene of Pooh chasing a girl dressed up as Pooh and the way they could make the funniest silhouettes of that? Like a
right?
giant Pooh chasing a little baby Pooh?
Yeah. It would be hilarious.
Because you got to dress up for the 100 Acre Wood Con, of course.
You sure do. So, like, my other thought that is like related to that one is Christopher Robin, instead of going off to college to being a doctor, he publishes this story, gets very, very famous, yada, yada. He comes back and he is leading a tour of diehards through the 100 Acre Wood. They get their revenge on Christopher Robin, and there could even be this tie-in to like Eat the Rich, commentary on capitalism. All of that can be in there as well.
Mm, yeah. Or it's the online community of people that have experienced abandonment and rejection in their life coming together, fighting for justice for
Mm.
Pooh.
I do
And
like it.
their target is
Ooh.
Christopher Robin. I just feel like Christopher Robin needed to be woven into this overall story more. It was a
Mhm.
little lackluster. He kind of doesn't play a role in this at all. You know?
Yeah, until he
Play it?
randomly shows up at the end to save the day.
Where
Like
does he
what?
get this car?
Right?
How
He
does he know where
he
they are?
he is this jerk that we don't like, that we're not attached to, and then all of a sudden he shows up like he's a knight in shining armor. Are you kidding me? No, I don't want that. Christopher Robin,
Yeah.
go away.
He's kind of an asshole. The girls go in later on, this is a scene later on, and they help untie him. Not a thank you, sir. No? He's kind
He's
of rude.
terrible.
He's like, go help her. Excuse me, why are you barking out commands at me right now, sir?
I could tie you back up. I could leave you here
Yes.
for poo if you want.
Oh, man. Okay, I like this 100 Acre Wood Con idea. That's
Mhm.
fascinating.
Right?
Yeah, a congregation of people that are really connected with these stories
Yes. I
for
think that
some
would be so
reason.
much fun.
Hmm.
But
Also,
instead, we have 5 random college chicks there for no reason.
no reason at all. Unrelated to Pooh and Piglet at all, too. No connection.
Mhm. Yep.
It was fascinating to see that this question that I've had for years that I've been fixated on, is it 100 Acre Wood or 100 Acre Woods? And according to this movie, the sign says 100 Acre Wood, no S. But that doesn't make sense to me. Woods, you're going to the woods, you're not going to the wood. I have questions,
You know, that's fair.
right? This doesn't make
I,
sense.
I don't have an answer. I think I've always just thought that it was a 100 Acre Wood, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a 100 Acre Woods. I don't
No,
know. I haven't thought
your
about it
theory
that
is
much.
backed up by this movie. There's the shots of the sign that lead to the forest says no S.
So
So
maybe
you are on the right side. I am wrong, but I have
so
questions.
So
That is
maybe a
my
singular forest is a wood, but if you're
really?
talking about, like,
Mm.
like, if you're going to a specific forest, you are going to a wood, but if you're just talking about it in general, then it's the woods,
Mm.
plural. I don't
Okay.
know. Also, English doesn't make sense, and this is taking place in the UK, so English is different between the 2 countries as well, so we got a lot of things happening here with this woods situation, so
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Maybe this is one of the breakout session of the 100 Acre Woods Con, you know?
Ooh,
Like we could
yeah.
we could have a heated debate together, a healthy discourse around the official
Mm, mhm.
plural versus singular.
Or maybe it's, like, 2 distinct factions and, like, the wood group is this week, but then the woods group is next week because they have
Oh,
irreconcilable differences. So, like,
yes.
movie 1 happens during the wood week, and then movie 2 happens during the
Ooh,
woods week,
yes.
so that we just eat everybody. Doesn't matter if you think it's wood or woods, you're still food for Pooh and Piglet.
Yes. Yes. This is good. This is good. I like it. And then this movie is also then about the way that we create propaganda mob mentality within our factions, our
Ooh,
echo chambers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's real good.
Pooh and Piglet are just stoking the fire. Stoking the fire. They're at their little computers online
Ooh,
just posting all kinds of
mhm.
incisive content for both sides.
They have,
Mm,
like, bot farms set up that are
yeah.
just spewing content.
Yes.
I like it.
Inciting emotion on the social
Yeah,
medias.
as they should. Gotta draw people to the wood or the woods, depending on which category you fall into, so that they can eat you. Yes,
So Pooh
they're
and Piglet are
doing
now
their work.
not murderous, they're not physically out there. They are in their basements wreaking havoc. This is very good. It's a different kind of
I
horror.
love it. The
Very
the
different
base
kind of horror.
the basement of the 100-acre woods.
Yes. Okay, so we meet some girls.
Yes, we do.
Meet some girls. There's like a million shots of boobs, which I
So
was
many.
like, oh my
It's excessive.
gosh. This is not subtle at all, people.
No.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I jotted down a note here that's just like, why are there boobs everywhere? Why is this necessary? But okay, moving on. We've covered that the gender aspect of this movie a little bit. What's next on your list?
Uh, how do these people know each other? Because they don't actually seem to be friends. Um, just their interactions with each other were awful. The dialogue
Yeah,
obviously was
so
trash,
bad.
but it was just like you would not see these people together as friends. Like this just does not make sense to me. There's no group dynamic, there's no banter, there's no rapport, there's nothing to suggest that any of them actually know each other.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. They just needed 5 warm female bodies so that they can be murdered.
To screech.
And they did that.
Yeah, screech. They needed female bodies and they needed lots of screeching. Yes.
Yes.
This is a game I love to play when I'm out and about. I'm like, are you guys friends, family, coworkers?
Oh,
Because
yes.
that's a
I
fun game.
I love that game. It's such
Me
a
too.
good game. And in this movie, they are strangers.
They are coworkers. Yes. Strangers. Yes. Oh man. I also none of them have any personalities at all. Like I can't tell any of them
No.
apart.
No.
And then this movie is dark for like 75% of it. So you're just like, okay, hair is flying as this girl is running, and now she's dead. Well, I don't know which one died. One of them. One
Right?
of the
I was like,
throngs.
I can't tell any of you apart. I don't know any of your names.
I
I
don't know any of them.
I know none of you.
The only name I remember is Alice because Alice is a beast. Alice is the one that goes for it with Piglet.
Yeah.
She
Yeah, and I
tastes
remembered Maria, she's the main chick
yes. She's the
because
one with the
Christopher
trauma.
Robin's girl was named Mary, And I was like, "Oh, we're getting really creative with our names here."
Yeah. So, where is there anything next before we get to when Piglet dies?
Yes, I have one more thing.
Okay.
It is revealed that Maria owns a gun. And I have some serious
Oh
questions about this
yeah, that's true. I was
because
wondering where she got the little shotgun from.
yeah, like the UK has a lot stricter gun control laws than the US does. And so from what I've read, again, I don't live in the UK. I don't know the laws. This is from a real quick look on Wikipedia that I half skimmed. So I could be
Uh,
relaying incorrect information. But from what I read, you're not supposed to own a handgun, like at all. Like you
mm,
can get them for like specific things, but like there's a lot of rules and a lot of hoops that you got to jump through. And I read that self-defense is not a reason to own a handgun. Again, could be wrong. This is Wikipedia. So does Maria own an illegal firearm that she has brought to the 100-acre woods? Like, what is going on here? We have learned some information about Maria that I would like to unpack, that the movie is not wanting me to unpack, but I couldn't
yeah,
stop thinking about that.
yeah. She probably has an illegal handgun because of her experiences that she's dealt with, is my guess. But yeah,
Hmm.
she just whips that out casually. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, she's like, "We need to defend ourselves. I know what I've got." It's highly
And
convenient.
she just like randomly remembers it like an afterthought, like, oh, guys,
Yeah,
silly me. I brought my gun. Like, and then there's one bullet in it. If
yeah.
not, if it maybe it jams, but like, what are you doing? Why
Does
are
she
you
fire
traveling
it? I
with a
forget.
loaded
There's a lot that was
the
happening.
other chick who was tortured that they found takes the gun from her and then fires it before Piglet dies.
Unsuccessfully.
Yeah.
Mm.
But like
Mm-hmm.
that's all that we see of the gun. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, if you are an owner of a firearm, especially in the UK, like you have to know what you're doing. Like
I think
this is
there's
a
a
big
pattern
deal.
here, which is that all of the humans, we've got lots of things stacked against them right at this point. You know? Okay. When Piglet dies, the tide shift for me. I'm Team Pooh.
Oh,
I'm Team
okay.
Pooh. I
Okay.
mean, you come from my family, you come from my friends. Everything he does after that is totally valid in my head. You get your revenge. This is John Wick, okay? Kill my
Oh, heck
dog,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
coming
man.
for you. There's a lot in common between the second half of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and John Wick. He is avenging the death of his dear companion. Hey, it's valid. I'm saying.
Mhm.
Not only that, but when he's surrounded by the four men that get out of the car that are coming for him, they're calling him fat. They don't know that Pooh's maybe got some
Mm.
insecurities around his belly,
Mhm.
or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They call him a freak. He
Yeah.
lets them hit him,
Wow.
and then he goes for him. But
Yeah.
the empathy is rising heavily by that point in me. So I am Team Pooh for the second half of this, and he triumphs. This is a win.
He does.
I'm satisfied by the end. I'm like, yeah, Pooh, you go after the big bad angry humans that abandoned you.
So this is not a tragedy, but this is a triumph.
This
I
is a
see.
triumph.
Okay. Excellent. I love it. Oh, it's so good. I love it.
King Pooh, all the way. Okay, what's next?
No, I just very quickly on that. I really appreciate how many different methods of killing Pooh and Piglet developed. Cuz it's not just like, oh, I'm going to kill you because I'm hungry and I need to eat. But like they stuff a body in a wood chipper. They run over a chick's head with a car. You know, like we got some interesting killing practices that they've developed.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, I have questions. Like, do they in their basement where they are trolling their fan club, are they also watching, like, Saw on repeat and just getting ideas and inspiration for their own killing spree? Like, what is going on here? How did they go from, "Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry, I just need to eat something," to like, "Yeah, man,
Yeah.
wood chipper." That's
Mhm.
the best yes. Like, that's a leap.
Mhm. Yeah. They probably absorb some of that imagination from spending all that time with young Christopher
Oh.
Robin, you know? A little bit of that rubbed off on them.
Oh.
Some,
Okay.
like, poetic justice happening here.
So maybe Christopher Robin was a real weird kid, and he did
Oh.
want to be a doctor. So he was
Oh.
obsessed with, like, physiology and
Oh.
anatomy.
Yeah.
And so he talked about these things. Maybe he dissected some small animals in the presence of Pooh and Piglet
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody. And
Yeah.
that maybe started to spark their interest, and then
And the
things just
deranged.
escalated from there.
See? All roads are pointing back to Christopher.
Yeah, he's a villain.
He's a villain.
Yeah, he's a jerk, he's a villain,
He's
he got what was
ungrateful.
coming to
Yeah. He is unfaithful to his commitments.
him. What a
Yes.
terrible, terrible person.
Okay, so I have to ask you, if you could have a choice to face in battle in the 100 Acre Wood, you'd had to face Piglet or you had to face Pooh, who are you choosing and why as your foe?
Oh, I I would like to face Piglet, uh,
Oh, tell
just
me more.
because he is not the main character in the story. His name is not in the title of the movie. And
Mm,
so I think from virtue of that alone, I have a better chance of defeating him because my name is not in the title of the movie. And so it is unlikely that I am going to survive the movie. So if I can at least take out one bad guy, it's going to be Piglet. I'm not going to be taking out Pooh because his name is in the title.
that is so kind of you to ensure that the cinematic universe can continue on forward. Thank you for
Well,
your service.
I know how these things work, and there are certain characters who will have plot armor no matter how good of
Mm,
a fighter you are. And I feel like if your name is in
that's
the
so good.
title, most of the time you're going to be wearing some sort of plot armor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's so good. Especially when you've seen that Pooh Blood and Honey is in pre-production
Mhm.
for a 2024 release.
Yep. We get another one of these.
Great choices. Great choices. Hmm.
Who would you battle?
My choice would have been Pooh
Heck yeah, girl.
because I think that Piglet's approach is a lot more maniacal. If you look at all his kills, let's take all of his kills in as data points here. All three of them. He's got like a slowness to his approach. Like he really wants to instill fear and make you suffer. And I think there's something maniacal about that. Pooh is so kind to do it fast. You know? Like, let me bash your head against this and throw you in the wood chipper. Like it's quick, you know? There's a graciousness to his killing methods. So I would prefer for this to not be a slow burn. Like, take me
Mhm.
fast, please, Pooh. He's very kind in his killing approach.
I really am loving how complimentary you are of Pooh and
I'm
how
Team Pooh.
you are 100% Team Pooh, and I did not expect this movie or this review to go that direction. I'm very pleased
Oh
with this.
man.
This is excellent.
This is not a good look for me when I'm I think a couple episodes ago empathizing with the mob, the mafia, and now
I
here I am
mean,
Team Pooh.
but you're always empathizing with the mob or the mafia anytime we
That's
watch
true.
those movies. It
That's
just
true.
is what it is, and it's great. It makes for a fun time. I just didn't realize that Pooh
Mm,
shared so many characteristics with the mob.
yeah, he's
But we've
misunderstood.
learned a lot in this episode, so
He's
makes sense.
misunderstood. Yeah. I think that Pooh is in studying for this role, probably watched a lot of John Wick, you know, to really
Mhm.
get into that like Keanu,
Yeah.
that vengeance,
Yeah. Yeah, gotta
He's
take everybody out.
stoic. He's
Yep.
got one facial expression, as does Keanu in the John Wick series.
It's true. It's
Oh
true.
man.
Can take out multiple guys like it's no problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see him take out all four of those dudes? So fast. So
Okay,
fast.
so I do have a question about those
Okay.
4 dudes.
Yeah.
Um, and this relates back to my first question, but when the 2 girls are like, "Hey, somebody's chasing us," they're like, "Pooh is chasing us," and the 4 dudes seem to know who that is. And I'm like, "Okay, how do they know that the bear's name is Pooh? How so is Winnie the Pooh canon in this story? So like it's a book that Christopher Robin published, presumably that everybody has read. Okay. But then why earlier when the girls were running, were they like a bear is chasing us instead of saying Pooh? Like I have some questions about how these 4 dudes seemed to know who Pooh was when the girls
This
didn't
is
know
very
that
true.
information earlier.
Maybe because of the younger generation and just are
That could
not
be.
consuming culture, like because you're right. You're so right. The one guy, when he sees Pooh for the first time, he goes, Pooh? Is that you? Are you on
Uh-huh.
drugs? Which I just cracked up at. Like, that's your response?
Right?
Like, ah,
Of
yes,
all of
my
the
old friend.
responses,
But are you on something? They didn't do their
which I get.
research,
I mean, they
man.
look very different than the cartoons, so sure, but
Mm.
also
You know
it,
what? I
it
think
was just an inconsistency.
the four men must have watched the live action Christopher Robin and saw the
Oh.
projection of perhaps the deranged
Mm,
paths that
yeah.
these very adorable creatures are going on. Like this, if you chart this out, this is you landed Pooh Blood and Honey.
That makes sense.
Mm,
That this is
yeah.
the inevitable conclusion of the Christopher Robin movie that came out a few years ago, which, by the way, was our first review, so that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But that movie was always destined to lead to Pooh,
Yeah.
Blood and Honey because Christopher
I think
Robin
so.
is a villain.
Oh my gosh, see, in that movie Pooh they go all the way to London
They sure
to
do.
go after him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do they get in return? Just a red balloon. That's it. For all their efforts. That's all
Which
they get.
honestly, that red balloon was the best part of that
That's
entire
beautiful.
movie. That was the
Hmm.
only part that actually looked good.
Well, in that movie, honestly, I remember us talking about how the 100 Acre Wood also looked a little eerie. It was like this
Yes.
grayish tone, super misty and smoky, and it was terrifying. Do you remember talking about it? Like when they go down into the little hole
Mhm.
and emerge into the 100 Acre Wood?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
got bluish grayish tones
Makes
all
sense.
over it. There's nothing cute and adorable about that. So it's
So
on
we're
track. It's on track.
yeah, we're slowly going through like grayscale. So
Evolution.
like the
Yeah.
the colorful Winnie the Pooh of our childhoods is gone. So then a few years ago we went into this grayed, washed out Christopher Robin, and now we are
Yes.
into the dark Winnie the Pooh
Yes.
Blood and Honey.
Yes. Okay. What's next? What's on your list?
Okay, so the 4 dudes who are so creepy. Okay,
Yeah.
can we also just acknowledge this? Like these 2 chicks, you run up on this car with these 4 guys and you're being chased by a homicidal Pooh Bear. I'm not sure which one I would choose. Like either one is
Oh, great
dangerous.
point. Yeah. Yeah.
That was another moment in this movie where I was like, they are not responding like uh, a normal woman would. Granted, I am not in that situation, so maybe I would make that choice. That just doesn't feel right, though. I think both are super dangerous. But yeah, I was real creeped out by the guys.
They were very terrifying. That's so true. I didn't
Yeah,
even think about that fact. Who would
I was
you
like,
rather choose?
yeah, I was like,
Mm.
these are not safe people. Like
I
in
mean,
a
by sheer
different
numbers,
context.
By
Yeah.
sheer numbers, you would wanna choose Pooh. Once
Yeah.
again, team Pooh, but, like, also yes. Like, 4 of you. Oh, by that point, there's only 2 of them. But sheer numbers, right?
Mhm.
2
Yeah.
against 1 Pooh Bear.
Yeah. I did I also in that moment wondered like, okay, are these 4 dudes cuz they seem not safe. Are they going to try and attack these 2 girls and then is Pooh Bear going to become a hero all of a sudden and take out these 4 dudes to save the 2
Mm,
girls? Like I thought that that
mm.
could have been a more interesting thing than what
He has a
actually
change of
happened.
heart.
Yeah. He could have some character development. And then in the next movie, he could
See?
have a crisis of conscience.
You you lived out this is real meta now, right? Okay, let's take go on this journey with me. You lived out the hope that Christopher Robin also had when he
Mm,
says, "There's still some good in there, Pooh." Like
yeah,
you saw it too.
I sure
You saw
did.
it too. Wow,
Yeah.
beautiful. It's
Honestly,
beautiful.
I just wanted something more interesting than what the movie gave me. And that would have been more interesting because it would have been unexpected.
Okay, yeah, tell me your thoughts about this ending.
It's awful. Like I just I hate so many things. Okay, so the girls get into the car. Okay.
Mhm.
In front of them is Pooh Bear. Behind
Mhm.
them is woods and no Pooh Bear. And instead of going to where Pooh is not, they decide to go forward and hit Pooh Bear, not
Yeah.
thinking it through. That, I mean, okay, also, number one, he's a bear. Like,
Uh-huh.
the bear would probably stop the vehicle, but anyway, it's fine. Whatever. They run over Pooh. He gets onto the car. Like, why wouldn't you run away from the bear? Why would you run toward the bear after you've seen him kill all of your friends, these 4 creepy dudes? Why are we going towards the bear? I don't understand. I'm so
Because human
bothered.
beings that's the thesis of this movie, is that humans kinda suck sometimes, man.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true. Yep. I'm thinking again too logically
You
when
are.
it comes to this movie.
You
That's my
are.
bad.
But yeah, I mean, that's not the logical choice to kill this giant Pooh Bear.
Yeah.
He
Who
is
seems to
far
be
stronger than a car.
indestructible. Like,
He really is. He really is. Because again, plot armor. He also just like absolutely crushes those 4 dudes.
yeah.
Like, how are you so strong, Pooh? What are you eating? Like, what is your protein powder brand? We must know.
In the next movie, there's going to be product placement for some sort of honey based protein powder that helps Pooh Bear get real strong.
Yeah, something in that honey, man.
I mean, there's probably like loads of testosterone, so it's really just like roid
Mm,
rage is what it
yeah.
is, probably. But
Mhm.
you know
Mhm.
what? To each his own.
Well, there's
Do
also
what you
a
got to do,
shot
Pooh Bear.
of him eating the honey and like none of it's going in his mouth, which is like indicative of the production value of this movie. It's like a dude in a mask and he's like shoving drippy liquid at his face, but like none of it's going inside of the mouth. There's a close up of it early in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, of all of the really gross things in this movie, that was the thing that grossed me out the most because I was like, that doesn't look like honey. And
Nope.
it took me a while to understand that that was honey, even though honey is in the title of the movie.
Uh,
And
yes.
I was just like, I don't know what this clear, gloopy liquid is, but you're shoving it
Mm.
all over your face, and I don't like it. Uh,
Mm.
Not my favorite. But you know what? Pooh's having a great time. So enjoy your life, buddy.
Maybe if we just gave him some honey, he would be satisfied. I mean, he's out for blood and he might be out for honey too. I mean, it's in the title, you know? People just
I
don't
really
understand his
wanted to
needs.
see yeah, I wanted to see like a blood and honey like shot or something. You know, like I wanted to see him really having fun with both blood and honey. Like doesn't he like mix them together and create a really cool cocktail or something to like unwind after his murderous rampage. I don't know. Like, I just feel like there were so many fun things they could have done with that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
instead, we get
This
like,
movie doesn't have enough fun.
no, it does not. It has zero fun.
0. It needs
It's
to take
unfortunate.
itself either a little less seriously or like really lean into the awesome intense IP
Mhm.
stuff that you
Yeah.
could do here. Or just be like absolutely ridiculous. Like so over the top.
Hmm. That's what I want. I
Missed
want
opportunities.
super ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we get a little taste of it with yours too. Oh,
Hmm. Yeah. It was good,
yeah,
but
yeah,
man, that was wild.
yeah. I'm like, some human brain had to think this up. That's terrifying.
And we get a
Okay,
second film too.
we
So who
do,
knows
which I'm
what we're
so
gonna see
curious.
in the second one.
Yeah, what are you hoping to see in the second one?
Let's see. Some logical choices from female characters.
Yeah.
Fewer boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how about some I don't know, character development? How
Mm,
about some distinctive character traits?
mm.
Um, I would like to see somebody fighting back successfully.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
other than Christopher Robin,
Well, yeah, because
because
Christopher
honestly,
Robin's still alive. Mm-hmm.
he is a villain, so he can be taken out. But I want a female character to then conquer Pooh and whoever else comes.
Oh, like
Um,
Prey-esque.
yes, yes,
Mm.
I would like to see the prey version of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Is basically what I want.
Just swap out the head the head part and slap a pot belly on the predator.
Perfect, we got it. Excellent. Do you want to see Pooh being the mob boss of Hundred Acre Wood?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool, cool.
Yeah. All the woodland creatures.
Yeah.
He recruits an army.
Mhm.
Oh my
Ooh,
gosh,
okay,
all of the
okay.
chipmunks from like Snow White. You could throw in some of the birds and the mice from Cinderella. He's raising up an army.
Okay, 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 okay. So I have a premise for your army. So
Okay.
a developer has come in and bought the 100 acre wood and they're going to level it to like build something. So Pooh amasses this army to save their home and thus
Oh,
becomes the hero.
yes. This is about gentrification.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he
Gentrification, you got
accidentally
some
kills all of
environment
the
stuff.
developers, but like
Yeah.
for a good cause, you know?
Absolutely. Got to protect the environment. There's the eat the
Oh,
rich
yes.
thing. Like, we got some good themes
Mm,
here that are relevant to our world today.
mm. Maybe they're building a huge conference center for the 100 Acre Woodcon. And Pooh's like, I don't want
Oh,
this. I don't want to be honored in this
mm,
way. Why don't you
yeah.
understand my needs?
Ooh, that's good.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is
I like
almost
it.
like Emperor's New Groove esque, you know, with the building of the amusement park for the king. Delicious. Amazing.
Oh, it's so good. That would actually be funny if they bought the 100 acre wood to plow it to build a Disney park.
Ooh, yeah, let's roast some big corporate entities while we're at it. I love it.
Oh
I
man,
love it.
that'd be great.
What I want to see in this sequel is I want Tigger to come for Pooh. I want to see a Pooh
Ooh,
v Tigger like face off.
okay.
Like Creed style, you know, or like
Yeah.
maybe in the spirit of what's that movie we watched? Kong versus Godzilla. Like I just want to
Yeah.
see them fight each other.
Oh, that'd be
That's all I
great.
want. No humans in this movie.
Mm. Hmm.
Just a just a face off.
I like it. Okay, okay,
They have very
maybe.
different strengths, you know?
Yes,
Different fighting styles, different strengths.
yes. So maybe the reason why we didn't see Tigger in this one is because he has a turf somewhere else. And so they've divided the 100-acre wood so that each has their own territory. And now we're going to
Mm.
have a turf war between Tigger and his peeps and Pooh, who is sadly now without his piglet.
But maybe Pooh orchestrated this whole thing so that
Ooh.
Piglet would die. You know, he's got to take him out, but he
Ooh.
can't do it with his own bare hands, you know? So he manipulated the humans to take out his arch
Ooh.
nemesis. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
This is good. This is like the
Yeah.
five families, you know, and they're like fighting
Yeah.
for power over
Yeah,
the Boros.
absolutely.
Mm,
Okay.
this tracks.
I
This
I like it.
tracks. I like it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. We have
So
some
it
great
was
ideas.
Pooh, Tigger, Rabbit, and Owl, and Piglet. Now Piglet's out. There's only four families left.
Yeah.
Who will win? Only one can
Mm.
survive. uh, okay. Any other thoughts about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey before we wrap up?
Um I don't think
There
so.
are like so many. How can I choose?
No, I think this has been actually no, there is one more thing. So apparently uh Pooh has a bunch of bees flying around him in certain scenes. And I
Really?
really love the idea of Pooh having an army of killer bees at his disposal that he can dispatch wherever he wants them
Mm.
to go. And I really wish that the movie had leaned in on that because they clearly show a bunch of bees following him around. Why would you not have your bees sting somebody to death? Like, that's a great inventive way to kill somebody. And it was right there. You almost
Oh
got it.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
is just a miss.
Mm. Yeah. No, that's true. Missed opportunity of
Yeah.
IP. I mean, the Hunger Games could do it with that
Hello.
you know?
Yeah.
Study up, people. Or maybe they're like drones, you know, they're like killer drones and they like spy, they
Mm.
go out and spy and bring back information.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay. I like this. This is great.
it's very good. It's very good. It would just be fun to watch these different characters have their own brand of fighting style.
Oh,
And then we could
yes.
have a gauntlet with all of them.
Yeah.
Piglet's already out. Sorry,
Yeah.
Piglet, you got like outsmarted.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Because the strengths of Owl versus
Yeah.
Rabbit versus
So
Tigger
different.
versus Pooh, very different, right? Mm-hmm.
I like it. I would like
Wow.
to see that. I think that would be fun.
All right. Well, we went on quite a journey here. I think this is our best episode yet. What do you think? Really
Oh,
nailed
yeah.
this one.
10
Mhm.
out of 10. No notes. Pure foolishness.
It's hilarious to me that we're gonna go from this to Killers of the Flower Moon next week.
Well, and we just reviewed Past Lives.
Yeah.
Like, we have gone on such a journey this month.
Yes.
It's a wild roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This was the perfect palate cleanser, don't you think? It's the
I
equivalent of
don't
like
know.
the lemon sorbet in the middle of your meal before your next course.
We can call it that. It was an experience for sure.
All right, well, this is our review and discussion and absolute shenanigans as we discuss Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. You can find it available for free to stream on Peacock. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Movies and Us. Our name sums it up. We're all about movies and the powerful ways we connect with each other and the world around us. This podcast is about all of us and our shared stories. Everyone is welcome here, and we're so glad you hung out with us today. You can subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you tune into your favorite shows. Drop us a review letting us know all of your theories and hypotheses and thoughts about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. You can connect with us on Twitter and Instagram at moviesandUsPod, or you can email us at moviesandUsPod@gmail.com. We will be back next week to discuss a true cinematic gem of a film that I'm so excited about by Scorsese. Killers of the Flower Moon is here very soon. We're excited for that one. We hope you have an amazing week, and we'll see you next week.